Thank you,
Okay,
Jeremy.
wonderful. Oh, thank you. And again, everyone, please do give a lot of love to Bill. You've probably seen his name on all the emails and everything else coming from George Brown, but he's the mastermind behind all these sessions, he and his teammate Carmel. So please send them a lot of love. You can use the emoji button right there inside Microsoft Teams. You can send them some words of praise, but please let them know you appreciate their awesome efforts. Now, if you've joined one of my sessions in the past, you know this is going to be an exciting session. But just to remind you, I've been on this long journey myself. I definitely did not come out of undergrad knowing exactly what I was going to do. Instead, I spent a little time working as a kindergarten teacher, working in the NGO sector, working in Silicon Valley, and most recently, I worked at Khan Academy. But the one place that really opened my eyes to the possibility of what's out there was getting a chance to work at LinkedIn. And that's for the simple reason that when I was at LinkedIn, I could see there were all these insider techniques, all these secrets to how great professionals built their career. And so I want to share those secrets with you, like I've been sharing with alumni around the world. And I want to do that to help you be super successful in your own journey. So with that in mind, let's get 3 core things right out of the way. The first is, this is a very interactive session. So I would love, love, love to have you engage with all the pop quizzes right in the chat. Number 2, I would especially love for you to volunteer for some live role plays, because the best way to learn is to get involved. And so if you volunteer for a live role play, I used to give away a copy of my career coaching book for ChatGPT, but now I've got a better treat for you. I'm going to give you a free LinkedIn profile review straight from a LinkedIn insider just for volunteering tonight. I would normally charge $100 US, but for anyone who volunteers tonight, you will get that for free straight from an insider. And then third and finally, what I want you to do most is not just watch, but to take action. Take the steps tonight in real time, and you're going to make so much more progress in your career immediately. So with that in mind, time for the first pop quiz. Okay, back when I was in grad school, a huge number of my classmates got jobs at all these cool companies like Google and Apple and Microsoft. What percentage of my classmates quit their first job within just 2 years of graduation? Was it A, about 20%, B, about half, or C, 80% of my classmates? So Christine and Nachua and everyone, come to the chat right now. Give me an A, a B, or a C. What percentage of my classmates when I was in grad school quit their first job within just 2 years? I want to see everyone come to the chat right now and give me that answer. I want to hear from Astrid. I want to hear from Sanaz. I want to hear from Hassan. If you see the choices right on the screen, please just let me know. Okay, and I see him sliding down the screen. Okay, so Greg says C, Astrid says C, Anna says B, Christine says B, Hassan says C. The B's and the C's are duking it out. I believe that Greg, you were the first to say C. Greg, if you don't mind unmuting for 1 second here, why did you say C? Why do you think that was the answer?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you great, yeah.
Great. Honestly, like your first job is kind of just whatever you can get, and maybe the expectations are really low. And personally, I only lasted like 12 months in my first gig.
Okay.
It wasn't a great experience. So
Totally. And guess what? You were absolutely right, Greg. It turns out that even though my friends got all these great jobs on paper, they're working at cool video game companies or famous consulting companies or whatever it was, the reality is within just 2 years, they were out the door. And guess what? The reason for that is exactly what Greg said, is that you're all just focused on just getting this job and going for whatever your friends are focused on, but you're not focused on what's really right for you. And so that's why I want to start the session with choosing a path that's right for your friends. Now, I just want to encourage everyone, please turn off your microphones if you're not speaking at the moment, because we don't want to have any of that background noise cluttering up the session. But I'm going to give you plenty of opportunities to turn your mics on coming up. So turn off those mics right now. And Bill, if you could help me just unmute folks who are unmuted, that would be awesome. Okay, with that in mind, let's focus on choosing that path that is perfect for you. And we're going to start with a little autobiographical quiz. So when I was back teaching in kindergarten in New York City, I was in Brooklyn teaching kindergarten, and then I would take the subway up to the Bronx, this tough neighborhood in New York, to help a mentee named Ivan, who was this incredible kid. He was captain of his baseball team, president of student council. In other words, he was going places. But as an annoying old guy, I asked Ivan, hey, what are you going to do with your life? And he said, Jeremy, don't worry about it. I got it all figured out. When I grow up, I'm going to be a criminal forensic scientist. Now, why do you think that Ivan was so confident? Was it A, his deep love of science, B, the fact that he had researched the role, or C, because he had seen it on TV the night before? So come to the chat right now. Give me your best guess. Why did Ivan have so much confidence in his path? Okay, so Nia says B. Christine says C. Christine, you said C. Why do you think C is the answer, Christine? Feel free to unmute. There you go.
Because he was an Abby fan?
Well, it turns out, when I date myself, he was in the heyday of CSI, this famous show. And of course, he was obsessed with everything he saw on TV, but he didn't know a lot of people in other fields. That was his entire world. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, come on, Jeremy, we're super successful out here. We have way more opportunities than Ivan had. But here's the thing I've noticed from doing career coaching for 20 years. No matter what stage of life you're at, we all have blinders. We all don't know what we don't know. And to help you see everything that's out there, even past your blind spots, I want to show you a new tool on LinkedIn that will help you discover what's possible. Now, if you are feeling stuck, if you are feeling unsure about what you're going to do next, I want you to raise your hand right now, right inside Microsoft Teams. And the first person to raise their hand will get a free profile review from yours truly. Okay, so I see a lot of hands going up. Now, Bill, which hand went up first? I'm going to go to Bill for as our tiebreaker here. Who did you see first, Bill?
Gladys.
Was it Gladys? Okay. Or actually, was it Christine? I'm a little confused. It was Gladys. All right. So in that case, Gladys, you've got this opportunity. Feel free to unmute and come and join us. Welcome, Gladys. And there'll be lots more opportunities coming up. So hang on to your hats. Okay, Gladys, if you can unmute, you're welcome to get that free profile review. Welcome, Gladys.
Hi, Jeremy. I'm here.
All right. Thank you for joining, Gladys. You're awesome.
Thank you.
So I know this is a little nerve-wracking because we're asking you to sort of go one-on-one here, but you're going to help all of your colleagues, all of your classmates, because they're going to learn from your experience and they're going to do what you're doing at the same time. So tell me this, Gladys. Tell me what you've been up to recently, and then also what you're thinking about career-wise in terms of next steps.
Right. I am a HR advisor, a talent acquisition advisor, a senior talent acquisition advisor. However, thank you, Jeremy. You can feel I'm nervous. Thank you.
No, I get it. This is a lot to ask, but you're doing awesome. So you're in this HR field, and then are you feeling like you want to stick with that or want to explore other things?
No, I wanted to explore. Prior to this, I'm in generalist, and then I specialize, and then I feel like this is not really my calling, and I think that I don't want a routine. I want variety, and therefore I'd like to delve into diversity, equity, inclusion, different special projects. So yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. So Gladys, I'm so glad you raised your hand because this is the perfect tool for you and so many of your classmates. So check this out. We all know about the traditional LinkedIn. There's the feed, there's the profile. What you may not know about is that LinkedIn has this secret weapon called Career Explorer. I want you all to click that link right in the chat and come join me on this brand new tool that is super powerful. Now, what this tool does for you is it's going to show you the career paths of about maybe 1 billion or so professionals. And it's going to say, hey, the thing that you've been doing in the past may not be the thing that you want to keep on doing, but it may have skills that will lead you to the next job that's even a better fit. So in Ivan's case, he was a waiter in high school. He didn't want to be a waiter for the rest of his life. But this tool could show him that, hey, that time management skill he built as a waiter would serve him well in the operations world. So with that in mind, Gladys, let's make this really personal for you. Gladys, are you currently in Toronto?
I am.
Okay, greatest city in the world. And would you like to stay there moving forward?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll stick with Greater Toronto Area, GTA. Now, remind me again of your current title or most recent title, Gladys.
Talent acquisition advisor.
Ah, beautiful. Okay, so we'll do talent acquisition. Say
Yeah.
talent acquisition specialist, maybe. And then tell me if all these skills here look right to you. Experience with sourcing, recruiting, interviewing.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had a few. So basically, what they
Yes, yeah.
found is that there are probably, I don't know, 100,000 talent acquisition folks in the GTA, and these tend to be their skills. Now, with that in mind, how can we apply those skills in a different way? So what I want everyone to do is try this on your own side right now, but instead of sorting by high similarity, which are just a bunch of obvious jobs, yeah, you can be a recruiter, you can be a recruitment specialist, let's search for low similarity, jobs that are a little off the beaten path. Aha, HR business partner,
Mm-hmm.
head of HR, human resources analyst. And these are jobs that give you a chance to build upon the skills you already have, but give you a chance to do something more interesting. And I love what Christine said. You sound bored, love. We need to find you something that's more exciting, that brings you a little more diversity into your life, like you said. So, what do you say we dive into one of these roles? How does that sound?
Yeah, this is great. HR business partner sounds really it's what I've really been aiming for, looking around if there's any other opportunities.
Yeah. And I'll just say from my own experience, I think HR business partner is so much more interesting because it gives you the whole breadth of the talent experience, not just going out there and finding new talent.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
before we even talk about getting the job, let's take a really smart approach. If you want to learn what this job is really like, who should you be talking to right now, Gladys?
People who are already in the job, doing the job, HRBPs.
Yeah. Gladys, I love that you said that with such clarity in your voice. You're like, this is not rocket science, Jeremy. This is going out there and saying, hey, as a George Brown alum, there are so many people in my own network who could help me learn about this role. So let me make this a little larger on my screen. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, show us everyone who's an HR business partner who went to George Brown. So we scroll down here to school under all filters.
Mhm.
We plug in George Brown. And then once we have that in there, we can say show results and check this out. This is what I love. You have 1,000 HR business partners just in the George Brown alumni community.
Mhm.
And so if you want to learn how Rashmi was doing as an HR business partner at Amazon in Toronto, coming from George Brown, here she is. Now, with that in mind, here's the big question. If you want to reach out to Rashmi, how do you strike up a conversation with her? Which of these buttons do you want to click? Connect, message, more?
Yeah, more. And I wanted to personalize my invite.
Yeah. So let's go to connect. We'll go to add a note. And how do you want to write this? What do you want to say?
Are you typing it now already?
If you're feeling nervous about this, let me show you a little shortcut.
Okay.
So you might say, oh, Jeremy, I know I've got to reach out to Rashmi. I know it's got to be personalized, but I'm just not feeling creative now. It's been a long day. I'm exhausted. I just want to go to bed. So watch this. Rather than put it off for another day, in which case you forget all about it and you never get any insights, we're going to grab her profile all the way back to George Brown, and we're going to come right over here to ChatGPT and watch this. We say, generate a LinkedIn connection request to an alum and focus it on her profile and keep it under 300 characters. Now, does ChatGPT know about Rashmi at this point, Gladys?
No.
Not really. It may have scraped her profile in the past, but it really doesn't know who she is. So what we do is we paste in her profile to keep it really focused. And by the way, check this out, everyone. I am giving you this prompt right here in the chat because I want you to try this right now. And when I run this prompt, ChatGPT says, hey, we're going to generate a message that is way more personalized than let's connect or let's stay in touch. So we come over here back to Rashmi's profile, and this time we can paste in that note, and we can even personalize it a little further, focusing on what you're really excited about, focusing on what you want to learn. So now you're off to the races. Now I've got one last question for you, and that is, how can you come up with a good list of questions for Rashmi? What do you want to be asking her to decide if her path is a good path for you, Gladys?
Go again to ChatGPT and ask.
That's right. So, let me tell you, the way that I used to do it back in the digital stone ages is I would go to Google, right? I would say, give me some informational interview questions. And there's nothing wrong with these questions. These are good questions, but they're generic. And what you want are questions that are specific to you. So watch this. We say, generate 10 questions for Rashmi to help me decide if her role is a good fit for my skills and interests. Now, tell me this. What are the things that you're most excited about, Gladys? What are the skills you love using? What are the things that drive your passion at work?
Well, can I say that I'm passionate about learning something new because I've never been. I wanted to do the analytics space. I know
Yeah,
I don't know numbers, right? It has nothing to do with numbers that they say, but it's more so like becoming like a story teller, like an
yeah,
effective storyteller, so that
yeah.
you can drive really great decisions in the company. So
Yes. And you mentioned a couple things also, like not only learning
yeah,
something new, but having a diversity of experiences, right? So you're not just stuck doing the same thing over and
yeah.
over, like you are in talent acquisition, passion for DEI.
Hmm.
Now, check this out. As when we prompt ChatGPT with something more specific, and again, that's right in the prompt, right in the chat for everyone, look what it comes back for. It doesn't just say, tell me about Amazon. It says, tell me about the diversity initiatives at Amazon. It says, how does your team foster a culture of continuous learning?
Hmm.
Because guess what? ChatGPT has your back, Gladys, when you told it what you care about. And it fights for you when it asks these questions. So how does that feel as a first start, Gladys, in terms of finding the right path, finding the right alum, asking the right questions? So far, so good?
Yeah, not stuck anymore. I feel like I'm a winner here already.
That's right. It's not about stalking, just looking at someone's profile. You want to break through and reach out and have a real world connection. But it's not over yet. Wait till you see this, Gladys. Now, Gladys, you mentioned there are some things you still want to work on, maybe things like HR policy or HR analytics. Would you say those are skills you still need to build?
For sure, yes. The
So,
workforce planning, I would say
yeah,
the labor relations, succession planning. Yep,
yeah.
all
So
those.
check this out. Now,
Yep.
I don't, as much as you love George Brown, you don't want to go back to George Brown for a whole nother master's degree. What you want to do is you want to get upskilled really fast. So you click that link, and then you come into these little courses from LinkedIn Learning
Oh,
that
that's
give you
nice.
everything you need in 57 minutes or an hour or stuff like that. Now, I have a question for Bill. Bill, do you know if George Brown gives LinkedIn Learning to its
Yes,
alums? Oh, do they?
yes,
Is that?
yes,
Oh my
yes,
goodness!
yes,
Yes,
Oh,
and there's free LinkedIn Learning license being offered to alumni as well.
yes.
wow! Ding, ding, ding! We have a winner. So Gladys, guess what? You not only have an amazing alum to reach out, you have absolutely free access, and would have normally cost you, $300 a year, but it's free because you're a George Brown alum. Okay,
That's amazing. Thank
and then
you.
whenever you're ready, you can. Oh yeah, go for it, Christine.
How long does that alumni access last?
Yes, great question. Bill, can you speak to that?
So if you have a George Brown email address, it'll last 1 year after your graduation. But if you don't have access to that anymore, please feel free to visit the website that I paste in the chat and register for free LinkedIn Learning. It will last for 1 year.
Okay, thank you very much.
And then here's one little extra bonus hack. After that 1 year expires, if you still want to get access, go to the Toronto Public Library, get a library card if you don't have it already. They will also give you access. So between George Brown and the library, you're set for life. Okay. Gladys, speaking of being set for life, you've just taught an important life lesson to every alum, which is you don't need to feel stuck in a dead-end job. There's so much cool stuff out there if you know where to look and how to ask the right questions. And Gladys, I cannot wait to check out your profile. And in fact, I want you to connect with me on LinkedIn right now. Here's my profile, and send me a message, and I will review your profile right after the session. Okay, Gladys?
Thank you, Jeremy.
Gladys, I know you were nervous, but you were awesome. And as Christine said, you deserve something more in your life. So go out there and get it. You rock, Gladys.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone, I'm just so impressed. Gladys is a rock star, and you guys are amongst amazing alums tonight. That being said, if you've got questions about anything we just covered, whether it's LinkedIn's Career Explorer tool, whether it's LinkedIn networking, LinkedIn learning, or even ChatGPT, put those questions in the chat, or better yet, raise your hand, because I love live questions. If you want to raise your hand, I will call on you and give you a chance to go one-on-one. Let me just pause for a moment, see if there are any questions on what we just covered. All right, it's looking good so far. Christine did a really good question. What is an HR business partner? So Christine, inside an organization, an HR business partner will sit with each specific team. So the marketing team or the finance team, and they say, I am your HR representative. I'm going to help you with talent acquisition, bringing on new people. I'm going to help you with upskilling, bringing professional development to your team. And if you have to make any talent transitions, I'll help you with that too. So basically a full service member of the HR team dedicated to a specific organization. Great question. Okay, for now, unless there are other questions, let's keep on rolling. And I've got a pop quiz for you. So now, if you were a recruiter, and maybe you were a recruiter at TD Bank or the Toronto Maple Leafs or any organization across Canada, I guarantee you that they are also looking at LinkedIn, not to find careers, but to find talent. And they are coming into this box and typing in one specific category of terms. Are they searching for certain degrees, certain schools, or certain job titles? So come to the chat right now and give me the answer to this next quiz. A, B, or C, what is every single recruiter across Canada searching for at this very moment? Christine says C. Isan says C. Amanvir says C. Everyone's saying C. Bill, your alums are on fire tonight. Isan, you said C. Why would you be searching for C if you were a recruiter? And Isan, feel free to unmute if you like. Okay, no worries if you can't unmute, Isan. I'll just explain this one really quick. And that is, the reason that recruiters search for job title is that they are under tremendous pressure. The average recruiter in North America has 40 jobs to fill all at one time. They have 250 resumes on average per job. And so they are moving basically at the speed of instinct. And yes, degree matters, school matters, but at the end of the day, they need someone who can do that specific job. So as a result, what does a recruiter do? They come to their magic tool, dun, 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 LinkedIn Recruiter. Now, I want to be clear, even though this looks like the same LinkedIn that you and I use, here's the big secret. It turns out this tool is not free. It costs $10,000 US per year per seat. And the reason that LinkedIn can charge so much money for it is that LinkedIn has a monopoly. There is no other platform in the world that has as much information on as many professionals as does LinkedIn. Over 1 billion users at last count. And as you all guessed, look at how they use it. They're not just searching for a random alum or a random major. They're searching for a project manager or a producer to do a specific job. So I want you to look at your profile. If your profile is focused on being a George Brown alum or focused on what you did in your last job, that's fine. But where it has to be by the end of the session is focused on where you're going next. And to get you focused and to make sure that you have the perfect North Star, I want you to raise your hand right now inside Microsoft Teams. And again, the first person to raise their hand gets the next profile review. So who's it going to be? Okay, this time it was definitely Christine. Christine was so fast. Christine, feel free to unmute. And if you ever want to play Jeopardy, you would be an absolute shoo-in. You've got a great trigger figure. Welcome, Christine.
What am I doing next?
That's right. What are you doing here? What's Christine sign herself up for? So Christine, what I want to do is, again, similar to what we just did with Gladys, I want you to explore opportunities, but I want to do it in even a newer way than Career Explorer, using the power of AI. So again, Christine, throw down the gauntlet. What have you been up to? What do you want to be up to next?
That's a good question. I'm sort of in between.
Yeah.
I come from a background of doing admissions support for private schools.
Cool.
And I'm a performer. I'm actually an artist.
Oh my goodness.
So that's where I think I want to go.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to do it and actually make money.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. So let's figure out all those things, including the money piece, because that's important. Okay. So you've been in this admission support space, but you're an artist by training, artist by passion. How do you find some way to reconcile those things, actually earn some compensation doing the things you love? So check this out. You could come right to LinkedIn. You could start searching for jobs and say, you know, give me, let me just make this a little easier to see here. Let's say artist jobs Toronto. and you run your search, and you're going to be so unhappy with the results. You're going to say, I don't even know if these roles make any sense for me. Senior artist, or senior level artist, these are video game jobs. Nah, forget it. We've got to find stuff that actually makes sense. So watch this.
And
Go for Christine.
clarify,
Yeah.
I'm a performer.
Oh yeah,
I'm not
I have a
visual.
question too. I have a question too.
Oh, somebody has a question. Go for it.
Yeah, like I'm train control engineer. So with LinkedIn, so I have on my train control engineer. It's for LinkedIn. It's such a niche field. Every time it comes up on search, it does control. All it sees it controls. And so for train control, especially with my background or especially my picture, it never gives what Indeed does. It doesn't give me the specificity that Indeed will to a train control engineer, field engineer, yada yada. You know what it will specify within everything that runs down my resume.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're going to get to that in the next topic. One of the things that I will tell you right now is whenever it comes to searching for a specific role, always go to Indeed. You can tell I love LinkedIn. I used to work there, but LinkedIn's job search is terrible because it always applies its own filters on top of what you're searching for. And that's why you have that lousy experience. So I'm sorry about that, but definitely stick with Indeed.
Oh, no. I got jobs. I got H&B.
Okay. Now let's go back to Christine for a moment. So Christine, I'm going to start a new prompt over here. And what I want to do this time is I want to start by not even digging into that specific role, but just seeing what roles are possible. Watch this. I'm going to say, I'm a George Brown alum who has a background as a performer and experience as an admissions support professional. Does that sound fair so far?
Yes.
Now I want to get way more specific because here's the ultimate rule of ChatGPT. Garbage in equals garbage out. Specificity in equals specificity out. And that's where we want to get to. So tell me this, Christine. Tell me the kinds of performance that you love, like what you train for, what you're passionate about, and what you want to be doing in the future.
I'm trained as a singer and as a storyteller.
Oh, I love that. Keep going. This is great. What are some of the kinds of skills or the kinds of singing and storytelling that are very meaningful to you?
In terms of singing, my background is in jazz and blues and pop.
Oh, I love that. And you'll see why this becomes important. I know it feels like, oh, who cares? But like, again, we want to find the role that makes sense for you, not for any other random singer. And obviously you've got certain kinds of experiences that are most relevant. Anything in terms of storytelling, what's that look like?
I am active in the LGBTQ community and
Awesome.
as well as women's activism.
Beautiful. Okay, that's important. So these are your passions. Now, here's where we get really specific. That's your background. We say, what are 10 specific job titles that match my interests and give me the chance, this is important, give me the chance to make a living wage in the PA, right? Because again, that's critical. It's not enough just to say, hey, tell me I can be a jazz singer. That's not helpful. Tell me how I can actually support myself doing that kind of work. So again, I put the prompt in. Now, this is a super specific prompt, y'all. So don't just copy and paste it in and run it for yourself. Obviously, change the background parts to make sure they match your interests, your passions. Okay, so now this is where it gets interesting. It says, hey, we know you don't want to do admissions necessarily forever, but what about admissions at a performing arts school?
Done it.
Oh, no, you've been there. Maybe that's out. That's okay. That's why we ask for 10 ideas, right?
Ballet school. Done it.
Okay, got it. LGBTQ community outreach coordinator, nonprofit organization, vocal instructor at a music academy, event coordinator specifically in some of these organizations, talent scout. And again, we're not saying any of these are necessarily set in stone, but we want to get you unstuck. Think of this as like writer's block for careers. You're feeling blocked,
right.
see all the options. So as these things scroll down my screen, Tell me if there's even one of them that kind of intrigues you, Christine, where you're like, oh, I want to know more about that one. And if you want to push back, if you want to ask for something more specific, we can go there too.
I would say 5 and 4.
Okay, beautiful. So we say, tell me more about 4 and 5, and what do you want to know about these roles? Is it related to compensation, culture, work-life balance, a day in the life? What's important?
Culture and work-life balance.
Of the typical culture.
That's hard.
Yeah, and you can see there's a lot of folks who are excited about this. They're like, okay, let's see how Christine does here.
I do comedy, so.
All right, so let's run that. Again, I'm putting all these prompts right in the chat because I want everyone to try this. And it's giving you a little flavor, a little taste. Now, let's say that you decide to explore in an even more specific manner. If you wanted to know which organizations are hiring in the GTA area for these kinds of roles, how interesting would that be, Christine?
Very.
But what's the problem with asking ChatGPT? Do you have any sense offhand why that might be a bad fit for this particular tool?
Do you want my honest answer?
Honest answer, yeah, of course.
I'm not too sure that LinkedIn would be the place for this.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
It strikes me being more a work and culture.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to be clear that like this is just directional. This is giving you a taste, not for a specific organization. But watch this. The problem with asking questions to ChatGPT about what's happening in Toronto today is that all of its data was trained 2 years ago, January 2022, which is not relevant if you're looking in 2024. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab those 2 roles and watch this. We're going to come over to Gemini by Google. And the beauty of this tool compared to ChatGPT is it searches the web. And we want latest data. So we say, what organizations are the top employers for the following roles in Toronto today, 2024, April. We plug that in, and this time, instead of saying, oh yeah, well, our data is a little out of date, Google is doing what Google does best. Goes out onto the internet, looks across some jobs, and gives us a sense of what's possible. And so it's going to say, okay, here are some ways you can do that. Let's actually try Copilot by Microsoft, because that also searches the live web. See if we can get a better answer here. So we're going to plug that in. We're going to see what Copilot gives us here. Aha, check this out. So we're getting some specific organizations. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to say, what are the salary ranges? And this is where it gets really interesting, Christine, because you said, hey, I got to make a living here. I can't just sing for peanuts, right? What are the salary ranges for these roles in Toronto in 2024? And we plug that in. And the reason I love these tools is you could spend hours going around to PayScale and Glassdoor and all this stuff. Or you could have your Google Assistant go out and do it and do that analysis for you. And now you can start to say, okay, is the salary going to be enough? Or do I have to consider other roles that are going to cover my needs? Does that make sense so far, Christine?
Makes sense to me.
Okay. And I want to call out, because people are asking, Copilot and Gemini are both free. So I'm putting these links into the chat. And the really cool thing about Copilot that I'll call out is you've probably heard about GPT-4. So inside ChatGPT, if you want to use the latest and greatest tool, they're going to say, upgrade to Plus and give us $30 Canadian every month. And you're like, hey, I'm looking for a job. I don't have $30 to spend on this. Well, guess what? Microsoft's got your back, Christine, because they're giving you the latest model for free, all covered by them.
Cool.
So a little sort of benefit to all the career changers out there. Okay, that being said, what's next, Christine? Now you can see what these roles are paying. You can see who's hiring for these roles in general. What else is important for you? How much deeper do you want to go?
I think I want to get a sense of the range for the talent scout and agent. I only say that because I met an agent who is cousin to Maestro.
Oh.
And I want to be able to, when I communicate with her next time, I think I want to be armed with like being able to have dialogue with her.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things you can do is you could ask for these talent scout. You could say, give me 5 specific talent scout agent salaries that I can use in my negotiation. I know this is kind of putting the cart before the horse. But the reason like this is that when you go into a negotiation with a conventional employer, they're going to say, hey, here's what we're offering. And what you need to be able to counter with is here's how much your competitor is paying. Here's what I've discovered as an anchor, as a leverage point for me as a professional. And so the more data points like that you can get, the more specific and the more aggressive you can be in your own negotiation. Does that make sense, Christine?
Yes.
Okay, so Christina, I'm about to do this. I'm going to share with you all of the prompts that we just used because I want you to take these prompts and keep using them and push forward until you find that perfect role. Okay, Christine?
Okay.
So let me just share those right now. And then once we share those, I want you to make sure that you benefit from them as you go on into everything you do. So share chat. I'm going to copy that link. And bam, you've got it right there inside the chat whenever you need it. And Christine, please, please, please send me a request on LinkedIn so I can also hook you up with a free profile review. Christine, you were fabulous.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate it.
Hey, I know you're the singer, but you got me singing your praises right now, Christine. So thank you for bringing it tonight. Okay, so that being said, I want to take some questions. And again, you can ask questions in 2 ways. You can put them in the chat, or better yet, just raise your hand if you want to ask live. So Anne has a great question. Nothing in the internet world is free. What data are they using in exchange? So Anne, you nailed it. The reason that Microsoft is being so quote unquote generous here is that they are making their models smarter and better based on your queries. So not necessarily learning about you. As you can see, I'm not even signed in here, so they don't know about me in particular, but they're trying to understand how can we train our model to deliver better results. And you can see this little plus and dislike button down here, which they use to get feedback. So I would say you're absolutely right, Anne, but I think this is a fairly fair trade as far as the internet goes, because it is a pretty powerful tool that you get for a relatively low investment. Great question. Okay, other questions here. All right, I think we've covered it for now. And now we have one last pop quiz for you to close out this evening. And that is, at the end of the day, if you are a recruiter, and you could be a recruiter in an NGO, you could be a recruiter in the government, you could be a recruiter for a startup, you have 1 billion profiles to search through on LinkedIn, how do you decide if a candidate is a good fit? Is it A, the classes they took at George Brown, B, the keywords they listed on their profile, or C, the grades they worked so hard to earn back in the day? So come to the chat right now, one last time, and give me those answers. Gladys says B. Precious says B. Amanvir says B. Precious, you nailed it. You said B. Why did you know that keywords were so important?
Good evening.
Good evening, Precious.
Yeah, sorry about that. I
No
chose
worries.
keywords because I want to believe that the recruiters have limited time, as earlier discussed, saying that they would need more time to run through so many resumes. So if they use the keywords in terms of the job they're looking for to sift the first few resumes, they can now drill down to other key requirements that fulfills the role.
Yes, you nailed it, Precious. Precious said, hey, we know these recruiters are under tremendous time pressure. They don't have time to fool around with classes or grades. They need a clear signal. Can you do the job? And that is your keyword. And to prove it to you, I'm going to take you right into the belly of the beast to see how LinkedIn Recruiter works. Remember, this is that $10,000 per year tool that every recruiter uses to find top talent. And here's how it works. First thing I do as a recruiter, I always look for job title. We just talked about that in the last section. I look for location. show me Chicago, show me Toronto, and I look for skills. Now, the first thing that LinkedIn's algorithm does is says, okay, there are 1 billion people on the site. We've got to start making some tough calls. And so what does it do? It doesn't look at your experience first or your skills, because anyone can game those by stuffing in keywords. It always looks first at that little section under your name called your headline. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, wait a second, Jeremy. Are you telling us that tiny little headline matters more than our experience? And that is exactly what I'm telling you. Because LinkedIn's dirty little secret is that it's very hard to differentiate candidates. And because the headline is so character limited, just 220 characters, it gives them the cleanest read on who you really are and what sets you apart. So with that in mind, knowing that our headline is our most important section, I want to help one lucky George Brown alum ace that profile test right now, live on the spot. All you've got to do is raise your hand, and whoever hand goes up first gets an opportunity, plus another one after the session. George, did you see who raised their hand first this time? Was it Amanveer? Or Bill, excuse me.
I see Brett.
Was it, say it again?
Brett.
Brett, okay, yeah, let's do Brett then. All right, so Brett, if you're on there, let's do it. Hello, Brett. Brett, are you there? Okay, going once, going twice. If Brett can't go on, let's give it a chance to Precious. Precious, we'll go next to you. Precious, are you there?
Yes, please.
Okay, Precious, you are awesome. Now, Precious, I don't want you to go easy on me. I want you to tell me the exact job title that you want to be found for on LinkedIn, and together we'll make it happen.
Okay. Over the years, the only role I have actually been in is a business analyst. Done a little bit of project management, but not so much into consultation as a business analyst. So I'd like to be able to dive into that, and a business development manager, actually.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. And so just to be clear, are you more interested in project manager or business development manager?
Business development manager.
Beautiful. Okay, just want to make sure about that. Okay, so that's the exact job title. Now, here's what I want everyone to do. I know it's tempting to go right to your profile, but resist that temptation. Instead, I want you to come to LinkedIn, and I want you to search the tool the same way that recruiters do, which is by starting with a focus on job title. Can you do the precise job? In Precious's case, we're going to say, show me all the business development managers who might be a good fit for my role. Now, Precious, I want you to use your data analysis skills to answer the following question.
Okay.
What do all these people have in common? Samit, Jen, Betty, Carl, Brent, Kale. Why are they at the top of my screen?
Because most of them are either an alumni, and they also have the business development manager title as their job title role. And some of them are literally working in that role currently.
That's right. So some of them are actually in that role. But what's even more important is they have that exact word or exact phrase, excuse me, in their most important section, the headline.
Yes.
And the reason I distinguish between those two things, your current title versus your headline, is that we can't change our current title, but we can absolutely change our headline. So Precious, with that in mind, do you mind if I pull up your profile, not to criticize it, but to shower it with love?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, Precious, you are so kind. I'm going to look it up right now. And everyone, please send so much love to Precious in the chat. Because again, it's so hard to be that volunteer, but it's so powerful for everyone else to learn from Precious's example. Okay, so here's Precious's profile. Now, Precious, obviously your headline today says business analyst. Yes. And you're getting a lot of love, by the way, from Christine and others. I can see those hearts coming in. Now, are you currently employed, Precious?
Yes, I am unemployed.
Okay. So are you unemployed or employed?
Unemployed.
Okay. So you're in good shape because you are a free agent. You can have your headline say anything you want. Now, Precious, this is going to be a tough question, but if I wanted to put business development manager right here, you might say, Jeremy, that's not really truthful, right? I mean, that's not the job that you've had. Is that correct?
Yes, I always had that at the back of my head. I'm not putting the right thing there just in case I'm asked. Even though I have an idea of what it entails, I
Right.
don't know if it's right to put it there if I don't have the experience under that particular title.
Exactly. So this is the sort of catch-22 that stops so many career changers in their tracks. You know what you want in your heart, but you can't express it on your profile without being unethical. However, here's the workaround, Precious. What single word could you put right in this section, right here before business development manager, that would make it absolutely true? What word belongs there?
Aspiring business development manager.
Yes, aspiring business development manager, seeking business development manager opportunities, exploring business development manager roles. Every one of those variations is exactly the same in the mind of the algorithm, because the algorithm is a heat-seeking missile. It doesn't care about all the blah, blah, blah. It cares about, do you have the most important keyword and the most important section, period. So for everyone out there who is a free agent, please update your headline right now. Don't wait for tomorrow morning. Don't wait for the summertime. Signal where you're headed immediately. And if there are people out there who are currently employed and they're saying, Jeremy, that's great, but if my current boss sees that, I'm going to get fired. Let me show you another workaround, which is you have the ability to come into your profile and turn on a section called Open to Work. So it's right at the bottom of your top card, that top area. And what this is a bat signal to the world of recruiters saying, hey, you are on the lookout for amazing talent. Well, here I am. Come and get me. So you would put in business development manager or data scientist or whatever you want. You'd put in all your desired locations and you would let recruiters know that you're interested, but you wouldn't let anyone else know. So just to be really clear, this is not that green open to work banner. Yeah. Instead, this is a private signal just to recruiters. And here's the cool thing, Precious.
I have that.
Oh yeah, go for it. Go for it, Precious.
I already have this activated on my profile, but
beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. So I was gonna say, if at all possible, I love the idea of updating your headline because it's super clear.
Okay.
But if you can't do that, this is the next best thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Great questions, Precious. I love that. So that's step number one. Now, Precious, let's be really honest with each other. If it was all about your headline, that would be too easy. And it's not that easy.
Yeah.
What else do recruiters look for when they want to filter through 6 million profiles? What else are they filtering for, Precious?
Those in the location close to where they can easily navigate to the job profile, and then those that either have professional qualifications in that particular area of experience, and those that have experience minimum to or maximum to the level of experience they're looking out for, and probably those in that current role that they might look and propose either like a promotion or an opportunity to them if they are willing to cross over or change from where they are now to new one.
Right, you nailed it. So the holy trinity of the LinkedIn recruiter search are 3 things: job title, location, and skills. But just to be clear, location by itself is not enough, because even if we filter for Toronto, what we're going to discover is, guess what? Inside the GTA, there are still going to be thousands and thousands of business development managers. Too many to look through. So now, to your point, Precious, we have to go to that last criterion, which is skills. Can you do the job? If you had to guess, Precious, what are the 3 most important skills for biz dev?
3 most important skills, in my opinion, would be that you have an element of previous jobs that you have literally worked on project that you develop either ideas or outcomes that resolute to what they're looking for, or you are also looking at their strategy that they have applied over the years in other roles or in other places similar to what they're literally looking for. And my last one would be actual skills in terms of should I say licenses or certifications that really fit that role.
Right. So it could be things from partnerships to sales to relationship development, all these things.
Yes.
But rather than guess at it, Precious, Let's face facts here. This is your life we're talking about. This is your career. I don't want to rest upon a guess. I want the truth. So what if I told you, Precious, that there's somewhere inside LinkedIn where you don't have to guess, because recruiters are giving you a list of the most important skills every single day. Where is that place, Precious?
Under your jobs?
Exactly, under the jobs. And yes, maybe LinkedIn's job board isn't perfect, but what it can do for us is it can tell us the exact things that recruiters care about when they are looking for top talent. And sure enough, there's all this stuff: developing relationships, client base, financial planning, etc., etc. So, Precious, when you look at this list, I know that your eyes are going to start to water. You're going to start to fall asleep. It's so painful. What if I could give you X-ray vision to pull out the most important keywords? Would you be interested?
Yes, please.
Okay, you got it. Here it comes. I want everyone to try this right now. This is our last big thing for the evening. Grab a job description that you're excited about, come back to ChatGPT one last time, and put in the following prompt. What are the top 15 most important skill keywords for this JD? And we literally just paste it in. No formatting, no coding. The prompt is right there in the chat for you. And here we go. Precious, here's your cheat sheet. Financial planning, relationship development, lead generation, account types, CRM, Salesforce, all the stuff that a biz dev manager needs to know. However, let's go one step further. Precious, would you be interested in knowing how you're doing on these keywords inside the LinkedIn black box?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Very
Yeah, because what we really want to know at the end of the day is, how can I make sure that I get found? If getting discovered by recruiters could change the course of my career, maybe my life, I need to know that. And so you're going to grab Precious's entire profile. We're going to come back to ChatGPT. And everybody, please root on Precious, because we are about to reveal Precious's moment of truth. Which of these keywords are missing from my profile?
I see a lot missing though.
Okay, we just paste them in there. We grab that prompt. I'm sharing it with everyone in the chat. Christine is sending you those hearts. I love that, Christine. Christine, you are amazing.
Thank
and
you.
then bam, guess what? You've got 5 of those skills, but you're missing the other 10. So tell me this, Precious. Of this missing 10, do you have any of these skills?
Yes, I do, but just not in the exact way that it is replicated here, which is one of the questions I was going to ask you towards the end. Like, you have the same skill represented, but with a different keyword. Is it compulsory that we have to go back and redirect it to these exact keywords? Because I do have, and I do have client retention strategy. I have relationship building. I have social media platform. I have leads, CRM tools, based off of the project that I've worked before over the years, but not in these exact words.
Exactly. And Precious, you've nailed it, which is, it is so painful, but you do want to get at least close to the way that the language is used in the job description, because here's the unfortunate part about both LinkedIn and the applicant tracking system. They're not that smart. They have a little bit of fuzzy logic. So lead generation and generating leads might be the same. But if you say developed new leads for company, that may not count as the same. And so to get you credit for the things you've done, watch this. We're going to say suggest 3 revised experience bullets to incorporate number 7. And even if you're feeling stuck, even if you're not sure how to break through, ChatGPT can take your existing bullets and get you credit for that exact thing that the algorithm is looking for.
Okay.
And you can go one step further. You can even say, suggest 3 ways to add more quantitative impact to that first bullet. And if you want to make that bullet really stand out, ChatGPT will even give you ways of talking about what you did, increasing the acquisition rate, driving more leads, driving more revenue, just basically getting you out of that rut so you can think creatively. How does that sound?
Perfect.
Okay, there's only one catch. Precious, what is the dark side here? If you were just to grab this entire bullet and paste it right into LinkedIn, why could that lead to disaster?
Because it's only specific to this particular job employment. If you have opportunities for other ones, you have to keep re-editing your profile every now and again.
Ah, yes. So you can actually say, what are the most common keywords across all business development manager roles in Toronto? And what ChatGPT will do, because it scans so many of those profiles, is it will give you a list of the ones that are most common. So you can definitely use that. You're absolutely right. But here's what's even more devastating, Precious. If you were to copy and paste this in, and it wasn't true about what you did because ChatGPT hallucinated, how awful would that be to be in an interview where they're like, Precious, I'm so impressed by that 30% increase in lead acquisition you had. And you're like, oh no, what did Jeremy do to my resume? So bottom line, make sure that every last word, every last character is true to your experience before you incorporate it. Okay?
Yes, please.
Okay. So Precious, you were fabulous. And as one little parting gift, I'm going to give you that whole list of keywords that I want you to get found for, because this is going to be really important homework, Precious. Okay. You want to make sure that you get discovered for the exact things that matter. And here's your magic list. Precious, you were awesome.
Thank you.
Beautifully done. Everyone gives so much love to Precious. Yeah, go for it, Precious.
I was just going to say thank you, because I have been stuck in this last phase, not sure if putting exactly what you get from ChatGPT does help or if it doesn't. And if a recruiter will see you as lying every time you keep changing or updating your LinkedIn profile to suit a particular job description. So this has sort of helped me clear that doubt and probably a better way to restructure myself.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you're going to break through, Precious. I know you're going to absolutely rock it out there. Here's wishing you a beautiful start to the next chapter.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so now I know we're almost at time, but here's what I want to do. I want to answer every last question that you have. So if you've got any last questions, please, please, please raise your hands right now.
Because I have one.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I basically have changed my career path to cybersecurity, and I'm just looking forward for opportunities. But in this specific role, they require a lot of experience, though, and I don't have that. Because my past experience is all about support, and I've done my marketing degree from George Brown. So I've just moved on to a different career path. So since I'm looking for an entry level as cybersecurity analyst or SOC analyst or threat hunting kind of a role in cybersecurity, but I'm unable to get that specific role though.
Yeah, so here's the really critical thing. Whenever you want to change careers, it's not enough to take your resume from your old job and just start applying for the new job. You've got to revise every last part of that resume to make sense for the new job. Let me give you a very specific example. As I told you at the start of the session, I began my career not as a tech expert, but as a kindergarten teacher. And so my kindergarten resume was all about helping kids and helping families and all that good stuff. When I started applying for these tech marketing jobs, I realized I was getting rejected every time because it made no sense. And so what I did is I came back in and I rewrote all my bullet points to talk less about helping kids, more about all these word of mouth marketing campaigns, reaching a new record, driving massive increases. In other words, speaking the language not of my old world, but of the world that I wanted to join next. Now, here's the amazing thing that you have today that I did not have back then, which is you have ChatGPT. You could say, suggest 3 ways to rewrite my resume bullets to be a better fit for project management roles. Maybe that's what you want to break into next. And what ChatGPT can do is help you take those original bullet points and rewrite them using the language of the world that you're looking to break into. So that's my challenge to you. No recruiter's going to do it for you. No one's going to take the time to figure out why you're a good fit. You've got to hit them over the head with it by making it super clear by doing your own translation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it does make sense though. Yeah.
Great question. Okay, let's go next to, I think Christine has her hand up. Christine. And my apologies if you don't have your hand up.
Don't.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay. But regarding the cybersecurity, there's a group called CSNP Toronto Cybersecurity that you may want to take a look at.
Oh, I love that. Oh my goodness. So that's the power of the George Brown network there, is that Christine's like, hey, I know about this organization that would be the perfect group to basically bring you into this world where you get to meet folks on the inside and learn how to speak that language. And here's that link right in the chat. Great call out, Christine. Oh, I love that. Okay.
Not a problem.
Awesome. I think we've done it for now. I know it's late, and I apologize for cutting the folks' dinner a little bit, but I do want to give you some bonus goodies. And that is that number one, if you want a free profile review the way that Christine did, obviously send me a message on LinkedIn. But even if you didn't win a free profile review, still follow me, connect with me, whatever you want to do, because I'm always sharing out new techniques, both for LinkedIn and for ChatGPT. So a great way to stay in touch. I'm always happy to introduce you to people, whatever's useful. If you want to get a free copy of that ChatGPT book that I mentioned, I can definitely hook you up with that. So let me just share a link real quick. And then one of the cool hacks that you can use is on this Amazon page. This is like an Amazon hack, if you will. You can sign up for a free trial of Kindle Unlimited or Audible. You download the book for free. You cancel the trial without paying a cent, but you still keep the book forever, courtesy of me and Jeff Bezos, I'd like to think. And then one last little goodie here is that thanks to Bill, thanks to Carmel, you have access to this LinkedIn masterclass that has now expanded to include 5 different classes on every aspect of career searching. ChatGPT, the applicant tracking system, LinkedIn, everything that's standing in your way. You've got all these courses that would normally cost $300, and you've got it free forever, courtesy of the George Brown alumni team. So please send Bill and Carmel a lot of love for bringing you that resource. And then the very final thing is that back when I was a grad school intern in the summer of 2011, I was working at Apple, and I had a chance to see Steve Jobs deliver his final keynote ever when he revealed on stage one more thing. What was that one more thing? It was Siri. Now, I know that Siri is not looking too great these days by comparison with ChatGPT, but you have to remember 15 years ago, the idea of talking to a computer and having the computer talk back to you, that was crazy. And so I believe there's a direct line between the world that Steve ushered in that morning in July 2011 and the world we're living in right now in April 2024. So in honor of Steve, in honor of Siri, I've got one more thing for you, and I call it CareerBot 3000. As we've talked about, I am so happy that so many George Brown alums came out tonight because I believe that a great life and a great career starts with values, starts with your own personal North Star. And so if, like Christine, you say, I want a job that gives me a chance to focus on the arts, to make a good living, and to do good in the world, you can put all of those things into CareerBot. You can paste in your existing CV, whether you've been a singer or an architect or whatever you've been. And this tool will take everything that you share with it and start to do that same thing we were talking about. Like, hey, could you maybe be someone focused on growth at a nonprofit? Maybe you drive fundraising for an organization that needs really good support. And then for that role, what are some of the most important keywords to be found? What's a taste of that job? And what's some advice all the way from the resume to the cover letter and into the interview room to give you everything you need. And this tool is yours free today and forever through the link in the chat, because I want us all to work on the thing that Steve threw down for us, which is, hey, we've all been given this rare gift to be living and breathing right now at this time in our history. So let's take these tools, let's take this opportunity and go out there and make a big honking dent in the universe, because otherwise, why else even be here? So with that in mind, I want to thank Bill and Carmel for bringing you the session. I want to thank Christine and all the volunteers for absolutely bringing the session to life. And I want to wish all of you a beautiful start to spring in Toronto or wherever you are, and amazing adventures ahead. Thank you all so much.
Thanks,
Excuse
Jeremy.
me.
Before you go, I think there's 2 questions in the chat that
Oh,
we
beautiful.
didn't cover. So we have a question from Anne asking, did you change your job title and does that matter to the employer?
Yes. Oh, great question. So one of the things that's really critical, Anne, is that you can't change your job title just sort of arbitrarily, because obviously whenever you get a new job, there's a background check and they make sure that you had the job you said you did. However, what I think is important is that instead of changing the job title, you change everything down below. So as I was talking about in that Teach for America example, I went in there and said, hey, here's the stuff that I did that was most relevant to the world of marketing. And again, I use that exact language of, word of mouth campaigns and record acquisition, because I knew that's the exact thing that a recruiter would be looking for. So don't change your job title, Anne, because that would be unethical. But please, please, please do change the way you frame your experience, because that matters a lot. Great question. What was the other question there, Bill?
So another question from Gladys. She's asking, I see sometimes in LinkedIn, there's pop-up questions saying you've been selected to answer blah, 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 blah. Is there any consequences if I do not answer, or is it always good to answer to get a badge?
Yes, Gladys, I'm so glad you asked that, because I want to give you the honest take. When I worked at LinkedIn, I would have been bound by golden handcuffs to say, hey, you definitely want to do that. It's so great for you. But the truth is that LinkedIn, as powerful as it can be for our careers, is a part of a giant corporation, in this case, Microsoft, whose number one role is to make money for itself and its shareholders. And so why do they want you to do those things, Gladys? Because the more you contribute to their particular project, the more they can monetize that. They can sell those ideas or show ads on those ideas, and that makes them money. What I have seen, Gladys, is that being a top voice in any of these spaces doesn't really give you any extra discovery by recruiters, any extra access to jobs. It's a nice little feather in your cap, but I don't think it's ultimately worth it, because you could have been using that time to do exploration, to talk to George Brown alumni, to build up a great profile, to reach out to people for referrals. Every one of those activities doesn't make money for LinkedIn. It makes money for you, Gladys, and that's who I really care about. So keep your eyes on the prize and do right by yourself. Great question, Gladys. All right,
Thank
back
you,
to you, Bill.
Jeremy.
I think that's all the questions that we have. Thank you, Jeremy, for the wonderful section.
Oh, thank you all for joining. You guys rocked the house tonight. I cannot thank you enough, and I can't wait to cheer you on LinkedIn and beyond. Have a great evening, everyone.